Hello there, Matthew Miller on this Eco Delivery. It is going to be a podcast, and yes, I know I'm probably already done one yesterday. I'm doing another one today, and yes, yesterday Jacinda Ardern was going to get this bill passed, which she already has done. And yes, she had got this bill passed, which that allows police to come in your homes without warrant. That means they can just come in your homes wherever they please. And I was freaked out. I did try and inform as much people as I could, but she was rushing that through. And boy, even Human Rights Commissioner got some concern as well, which I will get to that soon enough. Human Rights Commissioner has serious concerns around level 2 enforcement law. Yet I will get to that soon enough. But first of all, let's go to what you can really do on level 2. And yes, some people just did do some shopping. Well, why not? But they're going to be waiting in big lines and you have to be 2 meters apart. Oh, that's not social distancing. Oh, boy. Yeah, it's just always like to show a smile is the prettiest thing you can wear. Yes. Yep. Oh boy. And let's go down to and what level 2 looks like. And it says here, businesses and workplace. Businesses except bars can open. You must keep a record of anyone that visits your premises. Physical distancing of 1 meter between groups. So now it's 1 meter now. Between groups. Services can be provided on customers' premises. Businesses first rely on close personal contact. Masks, wear appropriate personal protective equipment. And now let's go down to social distancing. You can leave your bubble and socialize with your close friends and wider family maximum of 10 people. Parties still banned, so you can't have parties because we know that. That's why this government decided to pass the law. Just say, oh, we just want police to come into your homes wherever they please. That's why she passed the law. Just to give them the power so they can just enter your home wherever they please. And family of more than 10 can stay together. Keep your distance in public from people you don't know, ideally 2 meters. Well, they're trying to tell us to be afraid of strangers. Well, I'm not going to buy into that fear. So, suck it! Keep a 1 meter distance in other environments such as camp, church, schools, and restaurant groups. But yeah, because funerals you can have up to 50 now, but in churches I think you can only have up to 10 still, and it's just ridiculous, people, and now in church groups, restaurants, and retail stores. Gathering events, all social gatherings are limited to 10 people, 50 for funerals and tangi, tangi, yeah, or tangi, yeah, well, we like to call it what it says. Meaning most weddings, large family events, religious service, public meetings either had to be postponed, cancelled, dramatically sealed down. Restaurants cannot accept groups booking for more than 10 people. So if you're still going to have, you can only have up to 10 people. Yeah, and also about DIY store. Well, Bunnies and my team will be welcoming the masses from today. But I don't expect the Bunnies, sausages, sizzle to be starting back up anytime, starting back up again. Yeah, sometimes I always say things wrong. Well, yes, well, now it's time that we move on what the government with this bill being passed. And yes, it's been passed. The students now in the police state, they can now enter in your homes wherever they please. And yeah, COVID-19 coronavirus controversial bill passed to enforce alert 2 powers. And boy, wow, wow. And although there's no new cases, but she still went and gone past the bill. And yet, it passed 63 votes in favour and with 57 against. Well, of course, there's been a lot of criticism and good reason why. And, well, I'm not going to read all that yet. Let's just move on now. And yet, even the Human Rights Commission deeply concerned about the public health response bill, and boy, they should be response. And here's a tweet from Lizzie. You question the human rights, the information of the government legalization these days, and you suddenly you have become a right wing. So you are heavily on the left forgotten that extended police power can mean for Maori unpoliced trials, mean cops with guns, routine calls out, short memories. This is from a tweet from Lizzie family or something. But if you sort of question what the government isn't, you are suddenly a right wing. And if you dare say or dare criticize or say bad things about Jacinda Ardern, you're a right wing. That's how it's going to work for the left. And yeah, the Human Rights Commission has serious concern around level 2 enforcement law. Yes, I do have that concern as well. I'm going to read the second paragraph. Chief Human Rights Commissioner Paul Hunt says government's not allowed enough time to be for careful public democratic consideration of level 2 legislation, and that bill was rushed. And yeah, because they know she won't hit Jacinda Ardern while she's still in office. She wants to push her agenda. This is what it's all about. And also, so they can so police can just go in your homes and take your children. So they can probably do that. And say, oh, your children are sick, and we're going to take them out and put them in a different area. Yeah, and that's what the World Health Organization said. The official said, yes, we need to go into people's home and take them and put them in a different area in a significant manner. Yeah, the World Health Organization said it. It's not my words. They said it. Yeah. And you can read the postponed law here. And I'll leave a link down there for you to read the bill as well also. And yeah, now 250 people are allowed at funerals. Government backtrack on the 10 level for level 2. Yeah, and I'm going to watch that now.
One of the most difficult issues that we as a government have grappled with is funerals and tangihanga. Around the world, we have seen the virus spread at funerals, as well as a second wave of infection taking hold just as countries were getting on top of the virus like we are now.
Yeah, it's a scare pandemic. That's what's there. They're trying to tell us that it's a pandemic, but the virus is actually nothing worse than the flu. And the fact is, you can't actually catch a virus. Your body only produces it when it's toxic or stressed.
For example, a funeral of 100 people in the US led to an outbreak resulting in 30 deaths across one county. 3 funerals in South Africa led to 200 cases. And 143 cases.
Yeah, it's probably been added to their death certificate and say like a person has to like die of a heart attack or something. Well, we're gonna just add that COVID-19 to their death certificate. Just so they can get the numbers up.
In Canada have been linked to one funeral home. But in recent days, there has been very real and understandable public concern about the announcement that funerals were initially to be limited to 10 people.
Yeah.
It is one of the most basic of human instincts to gather and grieve when we lose
Yes.
a loved one. We have listened to those concerns. This morning, I spoke with several funeral directors. The Prime Minister spoke with church leaders. And I understand Minister Henare and Davis have spoken with iwi leaders. I'm pleased to announce that we have found a sensible solution that keeps people safe and allows more flexibility around funerals and tangihanga.
Well, one way to be safe from viruses and diseases is to improve your immune system. Get your son, and you're not telling any advice, mate. You're not even telling us any of those advice. Tell us to take vitamin C and that. Oh, probably said it because I bet this video's going to tell us say, oh, Bill's a right. He's telling people to take vitamin C. We have to take this channel to take this video down. That's how ridiculous it is, though. Yes, people, we need to be healthy, get our immune system up, and we are more likely to be able to to fight off the diseases that we face. And well, let's continue.
From tomorrow, funeral directors can submit a form that registers for an exemption to allow up to 50 people to attend a funeral.
Yeah, because I'm an apartment building. Yeah, up to 50 people now. That's just only for funerals and that. And yes, when a person dies, people do like to gather and grieve for the person they loved as well and they had passed away, and you should be able to do that.
As long as the Ministry of Health is satisfied, and they'll be satisfied by way of it being a funeral director.
So we had to satisfy them and please them. They had to be satisfied. Wow.
Who's suitably qualified that applies. That director has filled out the form which indicates a range of public health measures can consistently be met, such as physical distancing, hand hygiene, and having no food or drink congregations.
Well, sometimes we have to expose ourselves to germs. That's how we born unity, mate. And we born herd and unity be along with other human beings. That's how we born unity, people. And you tell us to social distance. Well, mate, we are dropping the social distancing. We are not gonna go along with this crap anymore.
Of those 50 people afterwards. That will mean more family and friends will be able to gather and grieve together. I hope that will provide some solace to people as they farewell their loved ones.
Yeah. Well.
We're going to talk now to...
I do want to speak to some of the hardest parts of the alert level framework, and these parts have been difficult.
Yeah, we are going to watch the Jacinda Ardern, what she's got to really say, so let's continue.
Through the entirety of our response to COVID-19, but are particularly pronounced at alert level 2, and they are namely funerals and tangihanga. This morning, we've instigated calls between church leaders. Dr. Bloomfield and myself were part of a call this morning, funeral directors and iwi leaders, to see if we can find a way to further satisfy health concerns, which are legitimate, particularly given that we have seen overseas, in particular, research demonstrating that funerals and weddings have been part of the spread of COVID-19 in many countries. But
really, you tell us that because of the diseases as well, spread of diseases, and say you can't go to those funerals and that. Hey, flu seasons comes and go, and we don't lock down. And we are sick, we stay home. But when we're well and healthy, we just continue our life. That's how we do things.
also recognise that funerals and tangi are exceptional. They're life events that cannot be postponed. I do believe that we are well on our way to finding a solution that will meet both of these concerns.
Yeah, the solution is that allow police powers to enter your home without warrant, Ardern. Yeah, really. To allow powers for police to enter in your homes without warrant. So, yes.
And I expect the Minister of Health will have more to say on that before the end of the day. It will still mean that there will be, of course, still restrictions, but we are working hard to see if we can find ways to accommodate some of the concerns that have been raised within the capacity of the Ministry of Health to help give the reassurance that some of those issues can be managed.
Yeah. Well, people, if that doesn't start rising their flags, though. Yeah, funeral directors demand world trains to spot on the COVID-19 regulations. And yes, people, let's watch what they're going to say with that. Here.
Edwina's daughter was just 24 when she died of rheumatic heart disease during lockdown.
She was just beautiful inside and out.
Her mum would do anything to have her back or to have changed the way they had to say goodbye.
It's the most devastating, heartbreaking you can ever do. You cannot have family.
Funeral directors see how important this is.
The way we have dealt with grief for generations and generations is to gather together, being able to see other people's emotions and feel that.
But in these times of change, that's gone. Funeral homes offering what they can, services for up to 10, live streams and drive-by salutes.
They know their loved one is in here somewhere, so for them they just want to be near.
The restrictions can be heartbreaking and in some cases lead to rule breaking, like at this tangi for hugely respected marae speaker Jimmy Brennan.
Funeral directors are being put in virtually impossible situations when they get to urapa or cemetery.
So they're calling to increase numbers, but in a controlled environment inside.
We feel it's about trusting us to be able to say, here's the size of our funeral home, a chapel that seats 100 people. So 25 or 50 people in there can be socially distant from each other and we can manage them.
Some concerned, though, at restricting the hugs and hongies.
The most difficult part.
Oh, so please, no hugging, no handshaking, no kissing. Oh, that means you can't comfort them. So don't comfort people. How? When people are grieving, they need hugs and comfort. And they tell us not to frickin' do it. For crying out loud. Well, if you're going to hug and kiss, well, it's not social distancing. Well, fuck it.
Part is trying to be the policeman.
But Edwina convinced even a modest increase would be worth it.
Yeah, well, we're just going to stop right there and now let's just move on. And yes, people, and there's a Simon would say that treat New Zealanders like adults, not kids. And yes, exactly. We've been with our government, they're saying treat us like children. And boy, Jacinda, we gotta stop acting yes to this. Turning what our government, Jacinda Ardern, is trying to bring on from New Zealand. She doesn't care about the New Zealand interests, nor New Zealand itself. She's there to push Agenda 21 or Agenda 2030 or something. And she is not letting a crisis go to waste, people. She's using the coronavirus or COVID-19 pandemic to push her agenda. That's how she's doing it. And of course she had rushed the bill in as well. And there's one from Heather on News Talk ZB, and let's go and see what she's got to say. And we are going to watch the whole video.
Look at the powers the government is giving police today and tell me they haven't lost perspective over COVID-19, because it looks a lot like they have. From today on, once this legislation passes, police will be able to come into your house without a warrant. If they think there is a party going on inside, a party of more than 10 people, not a murder scene, not drug cooking, a gathering of more than 10 people. Now, is that proportionate under level 2? You could perhaps make excuses for the East German police approach under levels 3 or 4.
Oh, she actually said it's going to be like East Germany. Well, it's probably that, or it's probably starting to turn out like Soviet Russia or Communist China or even Nazi Germany. Yeah. And boy, people, and with the facial recognition and with 5G, and boy, people, with that social credit system here in New Zealand, it could not be far off. Let's continue here.
Or when health authorities were worried about silent community transmission. But under level 2, this is overkill. We have 74 people with COVID in this country, and yet the police and the government believes it's fine to allow police unfettered access into the homes of 5 million people, because that is what this means. Warrantless entry means no one checks that the officers are doing the right thing. It is entirely up to them. The government, of course, could have required police to get a warrant first, like we normally do in Western democratic countries. In normal times, even at night, police are able to get a warrant in a hurry from a JP. Yeah, it takes a little bit longer. Yeah, there's a bit of paperwork, but that is not unreasonable when police are coming into the homes of people who could be perfectly innocent with only 9 people in their homes. How have we got to a stage where we think this is fine, where we accept rules that say only 10 people are allowed to go to funerals but 100 people can go to the pub, where families can't get out of quarantine to say goodbye to dying family members and people in hospitals die without any loved ones holding their hands? This all feels like a blinkered, mono-focused, perfectionist approach to get 0, 0, 0, and to hell with the sadness and the loss of human rights.
Yeah.
Politically, the law passing today is not a good look for the government, but especially bad for the Attorney General, David Parker. This is the same guy responsible for the stuff-up over whether the lockdown was legal or not. He has high regard for his own abilities, and yet created far too many headaches for the government thus far. Perspective has been lost here.
Wow. Oh. Wow. Wow. Perspective has been lost. Well, exactly, people, and we are now living in a dark time in New Zealand, and now it's time that we move on into here, in which we will get to that thing, but first, let's see, the chopper here, the new normal, and well, I don't call it the new normal, because the new normal is abnormal, and let's see what this video from Vinny Eastwood's got to say, and let's watch it.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is 1 o'clock in the morning and there is a chopper circling the house, freaking out my baby.
Yeah.
Is this day 1 of having no warrants needed or something like that? Now you can't see anything on the video, it's dark as heck, but yeah. See, there's the chopper over there, just cruising around and around. He's in the exact same pattern as he was last couple of days, that I was wondering, why is a chopper going round and round in circles for absolutely no frickin' reason? And a bunch of my listeners in Christchurch, they sent me a flight path of a chopper that was doing similar things over there, just randomly over people's properties and things like that, just going round and round and round at odd hours. so that people can't sleep properly. So yeah, thank you very much, New Zealand. This is the new normal. Choppers at 1 o'clock in the frickin' morning, circling a goddamn neighbourhood, freaking my baby out. Yeah. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning.
I'm not sure if the baby decided to wake to say, and just here I got it out. And what circling? Well, people, we are seeing a lot of weird flags right now. Yeah, a lot of weird flags. I know my videos just froze. Well, people, let's just move on now. Yeah, and now the app. Yes, the app. COVID-19 coronavirus. The new app tracks gets doing how full malls get until level 2. Yes, people just shopping like crazy since they start opening up on the first day of level 2. Just like McDonald's when level 3, on the first day of level 3, people were just queuing up to McDonald's getting their garbage burger. I don't call it garbage because the burgers are crap. Yeah. Well, and of course, speaking of apps, and of course, the Guest HQ, that means it's called Guest Headquarters or something, because HQ stands for Headquarters. And when I actually hit in the cafe for breakfast, they required me to sign this, though, and they say, it takes this in 5 minutes. Well, people, they just want you to register your guests during dining, well, so they can just track what you do. Well, people, I think I'm not going to do that, because they say it takes less than 5 minutes, and boy, they say safe. Customer use their own device, meaning no touch points or compensation, no touch points. Whoa. Restore. They're saying to be like social credit score. I can't be more. What? Yep. Restore all data securely in an encrypted form in Microsoft Cloud. So it's Microsoft Cloud. Yep. One touch checks in the customer on mobile devices. What? Let's go ahead.
Going to a business is going to look a little bit different in the future. You want guests to check in at your business as safely as possible, but you also need to operate efficiently. Guest HQ can help you do that. The simplest and safest guest check-in. Here's how it works. You register your business, and 2 minutes later, customers can check into your venue using their mobile phone. No dirty pen and paper or tablets that everyone touches. Customers can then check in everywhere they go using the Guest HQ app. Less effort for the customer equals more chance they will keep shopping and spending with you. And best of all, we manage all of the data with maximum security and privacy, so you don't have to worry about that. You can add on virtual queuing and encourage customers to visit your website loyalty program or see in-store discounts. That's Guest HQ in a nutshell, the simplest and safest guest check-in.
Wow. So they can get your data, people. Wow. And let's move on to Mariah searches. Yeah, and this is from...
Because we have built up such strong relationships, we do have weekly...
Just hold right here. Well, yeah, Mariah searches means a recipe for chaos, and yet this is probably not going to work well for the Maoris. Oh man, let's just see what they got to say.
because we have built up such strong relationships. We do have weekly meetings or Zooms with the Police Commissioner. We do have a strong Police Commissioner's Māori Advisory Board, and at local level with Police Liaison Officer, there is a strong bond. This sort of chucked everything back into chaos, back into the bad old days, and nobody, police included, wanted that.
Well, yeah, people, well, let's just move on to here, and here's a sheriff over in California. A California sheriff refused to enforce new stay-at-home order, so he refuses there. Well, it looks like a good sheriff, people, and I wish we had a police force here in New Zealand. There's a guy like him, and boy, I'll send it to my message to the police. Yeah, if you are one of the guy, just say hi. Well, well, when I did enter the police force, did I sign up to just go in people's home to just, without a warrant, just to tell them the social distance? Well, hey, I didn't, if you're one of the person that says, hey, I didn't sign up to be in this, for a reason to be in the police force. I signed up to be in a police force to help the community. Yes, and that should be people's oath in the police force. Is to help the community. Is to not to go in people's houses and run without warrants and that, telling them to ruin their day and that though, just because they're not social distancing or they're having parties. That's just ridiculous though. And that's probably my message to them as well, is that, well, if you are one of the policemen that got something to say and you find out a reason why I didn't sign up to just go in people's home without rights and that though, and I just signed up. The reason why I've been in the police force is that I just want to help the community. That's my reason to be in the force. Is to serve the people, is to protect the people's rights. And that's the role of, and that's what a role for a policeman to do, is to protect the individual rights. So when a person try to infringe on people's rights and that, and yes, that person should be arrested for their own actions, for infringing on people's rights, like taking a person's life or property or damaging their property, or for example, something. And well, that's all I gotta say for that for now, and let's move on. Pop out there. Well, let's move on to here. And yes, lastly on the BFD, and yes, this is when he was got invited to Jacinda Ardern, and yet there's a page that, or group, it's a private group, and if you get invited and you accept the invite, you're not even allowed to criticize about it. And man, boy, I've been saying a lot of flack about our Prime Minister. Oh boy, of course I would not be allowed to. So, and discretion, this is a place for the, this is a place of love and support for our Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern. Please feel free to share your thoughts and comments in this group, but any negativity towards Jacinda Ardern will result in your immediate removal, as well as the person who suggested for you. We need to keep in as long we are willing to fight for our country. Her changes and the moves towards a better New Zealand and the best, and are the best, and I have seen it in a long time. Thank you and enjoy. Well, that sounds like that you're not allowed to criticize her or even say anything negative or anything. If you try to say anything or even just once, you or the person who suggested you is removed. Period. That's a crew I would not want to be in. Never. You're not allowed to criticize or... And they actually say that, are you a national support? Well, if they're going to say yes, well, you can't join in. To join, you will not be accepted without answering administrative questions. Please express your true feeling and intention behind waiting. Become a Jacinda Ardern supporter. You are there to share honour and respect for our Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern within the Labour Party with our support. Well, if I get invited, I will not probably accept it. If I do get it, which is probably highly unlikely because the way I talk. Wow. Yeah, well, people, I know we are going to New Zealand, we are going to be living a dark day. But people, what can we do? Well, first of all, we got to start being human beings again. And we got to start helping each other. And we have to really get together. I know this is social gathering, but we have to fight this tyranny, people. Things are only going to get worse. It's not going to get better as long as Jacinda Ardern keep passing bills like this. And of course, if she can rush this bill in, she can rush in any bills. So now, people, it's time that we need to get together, start helping each other, start sharing ideas and ways how we can actually survive as human beings. And this is all I've got to say for now. It's Matthew Miller, signing off, over and out.